He's taken on the role of the undefeated Crixus on Spartacus, the evil Azog the Defiler in The Hobbit, and one of the great villains of the comics universe, Deathstroke. And whilst he may be intimidating on screen, in person, Manu Bennett is anything but. However, to become the big bad warrior he's known as, Manu sure had his work cut out for him, both physically and mentally. You were talking about your own background, and I remember reading a quote from you once saying, if you think and train like a gladiator, you're going to be successful in every aspect of your life. Why is that?
Did I say that?
You did say that, and you're going to have to live up to it now.
If I think and train like a gladiator, you can be successful in every part of your life. Well, playing Crixus, I know one thing. I was very proud of that particular role. When I was young, I had some tragedy in my life. I lost my mother and my brother in two separate car accidents. So as a sort of a 16-year-old struggling emotionally, I lost the opportunity to be an academic. I was good at school and I could have gone on and studied, but at that time, with those things that happened in my life, I found it difficult to be able to stick to the textbooks, and I branched out into something emotional. Spartacus was the first role in my acting history. I'd done other roles, but they hadn't been as fulfilling, but Spartacus was the first role with 4 years. I felt like I was part of a production, an artistic production that was really reaching the world and had a message, and a strong message. And again, it was that thing of human equality. The response that I've gotten from people who were fans of the show is that they took that journey with me. They took that ride, that emotional ride with me, and it was like finishing Spartacus last year. Felt to me like after 20 years of being in this industry, like I had graduated. Like that graduation that I missed out on in high school, I felt like I graduated in the entertainment industry. And then next minute the phone's calling and I've got, Peter Jackson on the line saying, do I want to come down and play Azog, the king of the orcs? And it's like, oh, whoa, now this is going somewhere.
What kind of training do you usually have to endure for your roles?
I mean, I've literally spent my whole life doing sports and dancing and a whole bunch of stuff. I did ballet and break dancing. Well, even before we started filming Spartacus, we have a thing called Gladiator Boot Camp, where basically, everyone who's in the show gets brought together, and we train with swords, and we do a whole bunch of a sort of a fitness regime, and it's full on. It's like 6 weeks of boot camp hell. I'm pretty much throwing up at the end of every workout of every day, but what happens is when we get to the point where they call action on the first day of shooting, it's not like we're some soft actors that have just come off the street and into the makeup room and put on our costumes and like, oh, I'm Crixus,
You've already sort of transitioned.
Yeah, we're already there. We're already sort of like, our blood's pumping, our muscles are already at work. And,
well, yeah, I can see your muscles at work right now, actually. Can we get a shot of those biceps? I'll show you my biceps.
Okay,
You show yours. I have
Stick
really
'em up.
pathetic
There you go.
biceps. And speaking of preparing for roles, if anyone knows what it's like to completely transform yourself for a part, it's Warwick Davis, who's adopted memorable characters in iconic films from Star Wars to Narnia to Harry Potter. So you've been featured in some of the all-time greatest fantasy movies, but I have to say I've noticed you're often hidden behind a mask or prosthetics, and obviously keeps viewers from recognizing who you are. Is that something you appreciate, or would you like more exposure?
Well, I used to appreciate it actually, and but more recently I've done a lot more roles where it's basically been me, and so now a lot more people know my face and my name, and it's very flattering, I suppose, because when people do recognise you, at least you're doing your job right, because people are actually watching what you've done.
What do you prefer, though? You prefer a bit of the privacy? Because obviously you have a family and stuff. Like, is the privacy something you prefer? Or?
Sometimes it's nice to kind of be able to go about your day, without having pictures. But then again, it's something I'm very used to now, and so the rest of my family. So wherever we go, we are recognisable, and and I'll always have time for people who want a picture, because at the end of the day, they're the people that ultimately make you successful as an actor, because they watch what you do, so you have to give a bit back to them.
Well, he must be doing something right, because the Life's Too Short actor's ever-growing fan base is now loving the fact that they can carry him in their pockets wherever they may go. You released an app recently called Pocket Warwick.
Yes.
What's that all about?
Well, Pocket Warwick came about because I've always loved technology, particularly fond of my iPhone. and obviously I'm an actor, and I thought, how can I combine my two passions in life, technology and myself? And I thought, well, wouldn't it be good to be in a phone myself? Basically, you have to look after Warwick in your phone, and also send him off to auditions for film roles, and try and increase his career up from being a Z-list celebrity all the way to being an A-list celebrity.
Amazing. And finally, with so many heroes roaming around Comic-Con, I couldn't resist asking the stars which superheroes they'd like to take on.
I think Iron Man is a great character. I mean, he's kind of a regular guy, but the suit makes him powerful. Or do you want one of those superheroes that there's something up with them, like the Hulk? That then, is he a superhero really, the Hulk, though?
I tend to get these anti-hero roles.
Do I want one that I can step in and out of, or one that there's something gone wrong with me, like Spider-Man?
It's got elements to it that sort of might combine all of the roles that I've played so far.
You can't have it all.
I could say a hypothetical.
I think that to be able to fly is good. So he's like Superman. That's a good one, isn't it? Although I don't like the outfit.
But I won't. I'll say the one that this character that I'm about to play called Deathstroke.
I want to be a superhero that's 3 foot 6 inches tall, and he can fly, and he